What is going on, everyone? And today we are here for week 7 of the GT3 Ferrari Fixed Challenge Track Guide series, and this week we're at Charlotte Roval. So probably one of my favourite circuits on the calendar in a non-conventional way, I guess you could say. I love the way this place flows. It's very high speed. It's very risk versus reward in certain areas. So it's a lot of fun to race here. In just about every car I've ever raced here, I've had a lot of fun, apart from maybe the NASCAR with the front locking situation in some of these chicanes. It can get pretty gnarly. So looking forward to bringing you this one. So we're doing something a bit different with the track guide this week. We obviously tested it on the MX-5 and the GT4 last week. Some different sort of things. I got quite a bit of good feedback from people. So we've decided to go with the replay. So there won't be any, as per se, telemetry on the video, but the video will be breaking down in such a way that you'll actually see the way the car's pivoting and rotating and how I'm actually using the pedals. On top of that, if you guys like, there's a link below in the description for the Garage 61 that we use that is open to everybody in VMM. And that will actually have my telemetry from the lap, so you can actually go and check that out the last time I drove here and see what I'm actually doing with the pedals, and even overlay your own lap on top of it to actually really get a good feel. So if you want to check that out, make sure you do. If not, guys, thank you to everybody that's been liking, subscribing, sharing the posts, sharing the videos, getting in touch, interacting with our community and everything. We really appreciate it, so looking forward to it. So let's get into week 7 at Charlotte Roval in the Ferrari. Alright guys, so now we're going to break down the lap. So as we're coming down into turn 1, we're looking for the one board on the right hand side, and we're just going to stop it just before right here. So as we're coming into this corner, as you can see, I'm not right up against the wall, and I've sort of got a bit of a funny line in, because what I'm trying to do is flow the car in so that I get close to the wall just as I go to rotate the car in. So one board is our brake pressure, third gear through here, so you're second out of the final chicane, up to third. You're going to get very close to the limiter as you're coming to the one board. And then as you get to the one board, brake pressure, I'm probably around that 50 to 60% brake pressure. I'm going to try and flow the car through here very fast. So as I turn in, you can see I'm flowing the car in quite quick. I use a lot of curb on the inside, let the car slide, and then I'm trying to let the car run all the way out to the edge of the road. I start to use the traffic light sort of as my point of reference to really line the car up and get the wheels straight as possible as I'm coming through. And then as I get to that point, I start to pitch the car back at the wall again. Now, as I pitch the car back, I take a lift off the throttle right at the end of the wall here, and then I let the car just enough for the nose to just pivot in slightly, and then once I've pivoted that nose in, then I start to pick the throttle up again and drive the car out of the corner, heading back towards the left-hand side, and then we're just going to stop here. As I get to under the Bank of America sign, I then start to pitch the car in at the apex, and then once I clip that apex quite early in the corner, I actually open the steering and let the car flow through. So you'll see as we come through, clip that apex, and then look how wide I let the car run. By the white line, I really start to brake. I downshift to second to help with the rotation, and then I want to get as close to the curb again on the inside as I apex, and then by the time I line up with the water tower, or just before we get to the water tower, then I'm trying to focus on getting the drive out of the corner. I use all the escape exit part here over the back of the curb, right out to the edge of the grass, and I stay all the way out here, as you can see. So then as I pitch in here, I've got a nice wide entry. I clip the apex right at the end of the curb, and then once I get to the end of the curb, I let the car start to track out, and I sort of in line with the VMAX billboard. Now once I've got to that point, you'll see just here there's the start of the concrete wall on the inside. I want to get the car straight and by that concrete wall and a nice big brake pressure. So as you'll see here, big brake pressure, down one gear to second. I get the car in nice and close on that curb, and then I sort of line up with the standings tower as we're exiting. And then as you can see, I'm sacrificing a little bit through here because I want to get nice and close on this curb right at this point here. So as you can see, I'm sort of in line with the blue line at this point, but you can tell the front of my car is going to head towards the cone. So as we come in, you can see I cut a good 3/4 of the car over that blue line, let it track right out to the edge of the wall. And then as soon as I get to the wall, you can see I'm already starting to rotate the car back in at the corner. I want to get as close to the wall by this point here. And then I'm sort of in line with the start of the stars at the end of the Charlotte USA bit on the safer barrier. So then from that point there, I start to pick the throttle up. I let the car slide all the way out. By the time I get to the Bank of America sign, I start to track down. Let the car run right down to the blue line. I'm trying to carry all that speed from the top to flow the car around on the blue line on the bottom. So then as we come off of this part here, I start to line up with the red sign and then start to track out towards the wall. Now we're looking for just before the 2 board, so right at this point here. So it's between 2 and 3, and I kind of use the red lines on the wall as my marker, and it's about like a half a car length into the red lines that I'm braking. Nice big brake pressure, 5th gear back to 2nd gear. You'll see I pitched the car in quite early, so by the end of the Charlotte sign, turn the car in, grab the apex here, right? So this first part is quite crucial. So I use quite a lot of curb at the start here. And then as you can see, as I rotate the car in, I only nick the tyre wall, but I'm really focusing on getting the drive from this point here. I really want to pick that throttle up nice and early and get the speed out of the car coming out of the corner, because you've got quite a long area again where you're on the throttle. So get close to the wall, cut across from the blue line, across the coloured bit, get yourself back on the banking as quick as possible. Hug that blue line the whole way through. As you're coming through this final sort of segment of corners, I guess you could say, because once you come off the banking, you've got the final chicane, and then that's home free. So you want to get nice and close to the blue line. Once the blue line ends, you start to really drop the car lower. As you can see at this point here, I use the car over the blue line completely. Like, it almost looks like the front left tire is in the grass. That's how much blue line I'm using, you know what I mean? So I'm really opening the corner to be able to flow a lot of corner speed through here. So as you can see, I turn in right at this point here where the bitumen ends. And then as I turn the car in, you'll see I use a lot of curb at the start. So grab the curb. The car does bounce. And then I did overrun the entry slightly here. So I'd want to be a little bit further to the left and then use a lot of blue curb over this next part. The car's going to land a little bit funny. It's got that little snapping oversteer, but I'm able to get it straight quick enough and then pick the throttle up, get it nice and close to the wall, and then run it over the start-finish line. And there you go, guys. That is your walkthrough track guide of the Charlotte Roval for week 7 of the Ferrari GT3 Fixed Challenge Series. Good luck for your week of racing. Hope this helps you, and look forward to seeing you next week for week 8. See you guys.